In this video, I got 5 tips for better event photography. This video is meant for beginning photographers, people that have shot little to no events. If this is you, hopefully some of these tips stick with you in your next event. Let's jump in with tip number 1, and that is make moments happen. So this is probably one of the hardest things for a new photographer to master, to get. That's why I wanted to make it number 1. When you're shooting an event, you think about capturing things that are happening, and sometimes you need to make things happen through your direction. So you enter into a scene or a crowd and you direct people to smile, to put your arm around that person, to hug somebody, you can create a moment that your clients, your friends will appreciate just through a little direction. Make moments. You're not only there to take photos, you're there to make photos. So tip number 1 is just don't be afraid to jump into a scene and direct, create something magical, make people smile. You are there as part of the event. I know you're not a guest, but you are somebody that's supposed to be there. Just like the event coordinator is part of the event, you're part of the event too. The DJ is part of the event. The guests are, who you're photographing, and the performers are there if there's performers. So you're capturing all these moments, and the ones that you can control, try to make some magic happen through your words, through your energy, show up with positive vibes. That leads me into tip number 2. This has to do with composition for fly on the wall or candid style photographs. So when you're setting up your shots, shooting candids, the beginning photographer, this I've seen a lot of, you're shooting super close up to get people's reactions, close up on their face, and you're losing a lot of the context of the photo. So when you're, just like what I said in tip number 1 is you're making photos. So when you're making a photo, you're making your composition include a little bit more context. So you want to, if someone's laughing, show what it is they're laughing at. If it's another person right next to them, if they're standing in a group, people tend to, gather in circles. So you're not going to jump in the middle of the circle. You shoot through 2 of the people and you frame the main person with 2 people on the outside. It's subframing. That's a composition trick. If there's a speech or something where there's, everybody's focused in one direction, maybe show 2 or 3 other people looking in that direction, and then you're getting reactions on people's faces, and you know that there's something off camera that they're directing their attention to. Another thing for composition with candids is if, a lot of people are putting effort and time into their outfit. So include some full body shots, some head to toe, show the shoes, show the pants, show the dress, show everything that went into their outfit. A lot of people want to have their outfits documented. So if you're not doing a post photo, if you're doing a candid, just try to include some wide shots and include everything that they're wearing. And that leads me into tip number 3. And this is for the fly on the wall type photographers. You sit back, you're capturing all these candid moments, and if you position yourself right, you're not shooting someone from behind, you're shooting and you'll be in their eyesight. So you're trying to be a fly on the wall, you're trying to be undetected, and what if somebody sees you and they see that you're taking photos of them? In this case, you don't just hide, you give them a positive affirmation. So you give them a nod, you give them a smile, a thumbs up. You just let them know that, you're doing something good, and maybe you move on to a different scene, or you stay there and they just get engaged with their friends. But just a positive affirmation, let people know that you're there, be happy. You don't want to come off as a kind of, I guess, a creep. I don't know, a negative it's a negative description, but you don't want to be a creeper. You want to be a photographer that's shooting the event, that's trying to capture candids. Okay, so moving right down the list into tip number 4, and this is for those of you that are asking permission to take photos, which I recommend doing once in a while, not always just jumping in, but don't take rejection personally. I once shot a Hollywood event and I just got there, I was warming up. I asked the first person if I could take their photo. They said no. I was a little bummed. Not that many people say no, but they did. You gotta shake that off. You don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know what condition they came to the party in. They, could have got a call that their family member's sick. You don't know what somebody's mental state is. So if somebody's rejecting you or not wanting you to take their photo at that time, don't take it personal. Just move on to the next group or next person and just shake it off. The person that said no at the beginning of that party eventually asked me to take their photo at the end of the party. So maybe they had a couple drinks. I don't know what happened that changed their mind, but I ended up photographing that person, and after a while shooting events, it's, at the beginning that would have really thrown me off, but keep moving. Don't take things like that personal. Don't let your mood come down. You will be approaching many people throughout an event. It's something that you just have to get used to. I know it's uncomfortable at first, but after approaching multiple people and getting a lot of positive reinforcement, you will get familiar with it, and the couple no's that you get will not they won't sting at all. Okay, so that leaves us with the 5th and final tip, and that is don't let people waste your time at the event. So what does that mean? Hopefully you're going to be shooting some paid work where you don't know anybody at the party. When you're practicing, you're going to know everybody. It's your friends, it's your family. Eventually, when you're at a party or an event when you don't know anybody, there's going to be lots of guests. Some of them are important, some of them are the hosts, some are family members, and some are just random guests that they love to be photographed and you love taking photos. So they end up asking you, can you take my photo? And then you spend, some of your precious time, like 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes even, shooting this one person. There's been times where my employer has asked me for my camera roll unedited, and if I had sent them a camera roll with just like 50 photos of one of their guests that aren't even that close to them, they'd be a little upset. So one way to kind of avoid this is just take photos of somebody and then move on. If you make a connection with somebody and you want to shoot them in a later date, take their information and just set up a photo shoot with them. But another way to avoid this or make sure you're spending your time wisely is getting a Facebook from your employer. Whether it's a party planner or your employer, just ask, is there any important people or VIPs that are going to be attending? If there are, if they say, yeah, my mom's coming, my cousin's coming that I haven't seen in 10 years, have them give you some photos of these people so you know what they look like, so you can refer to them throughout the event, and make sure that you are getting coverage of the important people for the party. Don't get the random person that just loves having their photo taken. I've definitely done this and had to delete a bunch of photos or just not include them in my edit. So next, check out this video on 4 types of event photographies to master. It's helpful in giving you different compositions and different things to focus on with event photography. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.